The following is a local resident producer's program. The program content is the sole responsibility of the producer and does not necessarily reflect the views or policies of Oshkosh Media, the City of Oshkosh, or your video service provider.
Everybody, welcome to 2020 and the first Eye on Oshkosh show of the new year. If you drive around Oshkosh, if you live in Oshkosh or you work in Oshkosh or you just drive around the city, you may very well have seen signs in people's yards that say Oshkosh Food Co-op. And you maybe have thought, what does that mean? Well, I'm pleased to tell you that on this show, you're going to find out what it means, how you can get involved, all those good things. And to help us kind of navigate through this, to my right is Brenda Haines. I have to give Blue Door Consulting a plug here.
Thanks.
She's the founder and you're what at Blue Door? The founder?
Co-founder and a consultant.
Okay,
Yep.
Co-founder and consultant of Blue Door Consulting, a very successful consulting firm. But for this purpose, she is the board president for the co-op. And to my left is another board member. We have Tracy Vinz. Tracy co-chairs the co-op's producer relations team. And you're also the owner of Olden Organics in Ripon.
That is correct.
All right, excellent. Well, we're off to a good start. Yay. And if you happen to be listening to this on the radio, the website address for the food co-op where you can get more information is Oshkosh Food Co-op, or Coop, as it's going to look, because in the website address there's no hyphen. So OshkoshFoodCoop.com. You can also find them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So tell us, what is Oshkosh Food Co-op?
Sure. The co-op is a community-owned grocery store. Okay. So we are working to bring a grocery store to Oshkosh's central city. And this is the kind of project that it's not as likely that a grocery store in the central city would happen absent a co-op, because it's an area that is that's redeveloping. So there's maybe not the same commercial interest as there might be in some other parts of the community. So this is a perfect project to do as a co-op. So member owners have come together, pooled their resources, and are working together to start a co-op in the community.
Okay, and we've got a couple pictures that we should be bringing up here. We want to look at, there we go, that's a full-line grocery store right there. People's Food Co-op in Rochester, Minnesota. And then there's also another rendering that we have. There we go. Now, what is that of?
Sure. So this is the Brio Building. This is the site that we are proposing to locate in. This would be at the corner of the southwest corner of Jackson Street and Pearl Avenue. It's a 5-story building. It's being developed by Merge Urban Development. There will be 4 stories of apartments, and then we will be in a first floor retail space. So about 50 market rate apartments are planned, and we'll have, we've leased 8,000 square feet, which is about 4,500 square feet of retail space, about 2,000 back office, receiving, shipping kind of space, and then about 1,500 square feet that we will grow into.
I love the looks of that, and I had no idea that that's what you guys were proposing.
Isn't it beautiful?
It is. It really is. And the fact that there's going to be apartments up there now, are they going to be low to moderate income apartments, or?
These are actually going to be market rate apartments.
Okay.
Merge has done some analysis of the market, and they shared with us that they found that there is a demand for market rate apartments.
Well, yeah, there's so many beautiful apartments down in this general area. And so, yeah, I can see that.
I think there's already 3 or 4 apartment buildings right in that neighborhood. And then Merge, as part of their development plans, is planning additional townhomes and apartment buildings on a site that's adjacent to the river.
Okay, so I'm going to ask a question where we're probably jumping ahead, and then we'll get back to our outline here. But so if people live in that building and they want to, say the weather is just horrendous outside, it's a bad snowstorm or it's a horrible thunderstorm, people don't want to go out but they need something from the store. Can they go downstairs and purchase something from this store without being a member, or they can?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so in order to shop at this store, you don't need to be a member.
No, that's one of the great things about co-ops, and I think is one of the things that most people don't know. You don't need to be a member to shop there. Being a member has some additional benefits to you as an owner. One, you're helping make the project happen. We can't do this without our member owners.
Right.
And we'll also offer some other benefits, perhaps member specials. Long-term, as the store becomes successful, we'll look at member dividends, but those are benefits above and beyond the ability to shop there. So.
Well, you know, it's a great space because you guys know, Brenda, you in particular, that a grocery store in this particular area where you guys have this sited, people have been talking about the need for a grocery store there for years. And I mean, I can't even tell you how many years. It's that long. And something is finally coming to fruition now. And gosh, I would love to live in a building. I mean, I'm not going to move there because we own a house, but I would love to live in a building where there's a grocery store downstairs.
Yes. Who wouldn't?
You know, you don't even need a car to go anywhere, you know? So that's great. So how did this whole idea kind of get started?
Well, the original founder of the Oshkosh Food Co-op, the person who brought this all together, believe it or not, was a college student at the time. She was in a class in the sustainability program, and she was talking with one of her professors, and they started talking about the local food system. And she asked the question, why isn't there a food co-op in Oshkosh? And her professor, Paul Van Auken, said, well, I don't know, why don't you do something about that? And Bridget Weber is the original person who kind of brought a community group then together to look at this and say, could we start a co-op here?
Okay. And again, there's a photo that's supposed to be showing with this. So here we go. So tell us, you know, what this
represents.
Yes.
You bet. So this is our journey that we've been on, and truly, we are following a model that is a national model for startup food co-ops. We started back in 2013 and became an entity. And food co-ops generally take about 5 to 7 years to form. And that's in large part because you're building support within the community and educating. In the beginning, a lot of people didn't know what a co-op was.
Sure.
I think we still, have some of those questions that arise from people.
That's why we're all here.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly. So this is the process that we've been following. The very first step that we took was we raised our first 100 members, and then we did a market study. We looked at, could a co-op be successful here? What does the national research show? So we worked with a researcher named Debbie Susanna out of G2G Research, and she analyzed the market and said, okay, here's what you could expect. You could expect if you start a co-op here, it will be about a $3 million store, about $4 million at maturity. It should be about a size of 4,500 square feet of retail space. And so we built our plans around that. We then worked with some other national folks on a business plan, on pro forma, to come up with what is this? Because while Tracy and I are volunteers and we certainly have business experience, we've never run a grocery store per se. So it was important for us to tap into the minds of the people who have.
Sure. And so I'm trying to see that. Well, can we put that back up again? There we go. Thank you. Does that say 1,107 member owners?
Yes.
That's how many you have currently?
Yes.
Wow. In roughly 6 years' time. That's excellent, guys.
And
it really is.
It's been really growing over the last year has been explosive, to be quite honest.
Mm-hmm.
We started the year, started 2019 with 790 members. So we're up to 1,107 today, and it's really been picking up steam. I think since we announced the site and people can picture what this might be.
Sure.
People have been really excited.
Yeah. If people want to see these particular slides, because on the screen they may be a little, some of the stuff you can't really read. No fault of anybody's. It's just, it's small on the screen. Can they go to the website and see all of these? Okay, good.
The website, or start following us on Facebook. A lot of these are on there at all times, or Instagram.
Okay, fantastic. So I want to talk about the size. Did you say 4,500 square feet? Okay. So I'm trying to envision that, and I'm not good with spatial stuff. So if we look at a store like, Festival, Pick and Save, I think they're both kind of about the same size. How does 4,500 square feet compare to what we have currently?
Sure. It's significantly smaller.
Okay.
A traditional grocery store might be 60, 70, 100, 110,000 square feet. So this is a much smaller market. We often will compare it to something the size of a Walgreens or a CVS, one of those drugstore size. So that gives you a mental picture that you can think about.
And and really, Walgreens and CVS pack an awful lot of stuff in their space. So I think that's great. So why a food co-op in Oshkosh? I know you said Bridget, was it? Okay. Is she Cynthia Thorpe's daughter?
No.
No, okay. Because I know she's got a Bridget who's a daughter.
She does, you're right. Who's also a member, so easy to confuse all the Bridgets. We're trying to collect them all.
Yes. If your name's Bridget, they want to hear from
join.
you. But everyone else is welcome to join, too.
Exactly.
So, you talked about how Bridget said, hey, how come we don't have one here? But why Oshkosh? Why would she think that Oshkosh was a good place for one?
I think a lot had to do with the local food economy. And Tracy, that's probably a topic that you're best equipped to talk about.
Bridget actually was working for us when she went to her professor with that very question. I think more or less as far as why Oshkosh, why not? There's, thriving co-ops in Viroqua, in La Crosse, in Madison, Milwaukee. Oshkosh has many, many, many things to offer. So why not a co-op? And that was her, a lot of her driving force was, we love, she loved Oshkosh. As we all do, we want a co-op. We want something to call our own.
Sure. There are some other things that we need to bring up here. The Oshkosh Food Co-op vision, I think, is, there we go.
I think when we talk about what's important in this project, it's really three things. One, we want to strengthen the local economy through this project. The second is we want to promote health. And the third is that we want to build community. So from a local economic perspective, one of the things that co-ops do really well, this is Menominee Market Co-op in Menominee, which is in western Wisconsin, a town of about 17,000. One of the things that co-ops do really well is they source a lot of their goods locally.
Okay.
So you can see it's a little small, but you can see in this picture that they're saying, the number of items that are local is, I think, 26. This was taken last May. We know nationally that co-ops source about 20% of their goods locally, and some in Wisconsin actually creep up near the 1/3 to 35% of their goods are sourced locally. So that's one of the economic impacts that we're really hoping to have, is to be able to buy from local producers, local growers, and stimulate the local economy in that way.
So is it kind of like an indoor farmer's market? In a way,
I see why you would say that.
But you're buying locally from farmers, growers, and that kind of thing. How does it differ then from a?
It's a grocery store. It's a full-fledged, complete grocery store. The difference is you look at our local or the grocery stores that we have here in Oshkosh now. They're getting a lot of their stuff, if not the majority of it, from out of state. Whereas a co-op, they want to source locally first. So we're going to try our darndest to get as much local products on our shelves as physically possible.
Sure.
So farmers market, no, but local producers, produce, bakeries, jams and jellies, meat, anything.
Okay.
Anything that people produce here in Wisconsin. We have so much talent here that people don't even, a lot of people go to the same farmers market every week. So they know a lot of their, local producers that make stuff. There's so many things made here in Wisconsin.
Yeah, there are. So let's talk about meat, because you brought it up, Tracy. A lot of people who are into sustainability, who are into animal welfare, animal rights, they want, a lot of them are vegans or vegetarians. I'm not there yet, and I should be, because I love animals, and animal welfare is, it's at the top of my passion list. But I'm just not there yet from a vegan standpoint or a vegetarian standpoint. But yet, people like me want to know that the meat that we are eating, the animals are, I don't want to use the word that I'm thinking of, they are killed in a humane way.
Humanely raised.
Yes, humanely raised, humanely killed. And so is that kind of a part of this also?
Yes.
Okay.
With like the local co-ops that we sell to, my farm personally, they tell the story of the farms of the farm's product that they're selling. Many of the other co-ops have pictures of each farmer, or a picture of the farm, bios on their website, bio cards that people can grab. So if you're, looking at the meats, there's definitely going to be local meats, but there also may be national meats too. So you can choose based on, what you want, if you want to go with a national chain or if you want to go with a local farm. And if you want to go with a local farm, okay, do I want to go with this one or do I want to go with that one? You can read the bios. You can do your research. You can, contact the farmers. Go out to their farm. I mean, as a farmer, the first thing I want is somebody to come out and see my farm. I'm so proud of what we've done that I want to show that off, as do other farmers.
Sure.
So,
well, okay, so let me ask you this then. How do people get in contact with you or your farm?
My personal farm?
Sure.
Well, we have a website, oldenorganics.com.
Okay.
We are on Facebook and Instagram as well. We do the Oshkosh Farmers Market, among many other markets in the state.
So Olden, Olden, Organics, and you're in Ripon.
That's
so, call and make an appointment to go out and see the farm. And I'm assuming that you have, free-range chickens and...
Personally, we only do produce.
Okay,
Yep.
All right.
We're a certified organic produce farm.
Okay.
And then we have a processing facility on site. So we do a line of spiralized vegetable noodles for those people who are trying to kick the carb habit, and different vegetable medleys as well.
Excellent.
And one of the great things that co-ops do, as Tracy was saying, is there's often opportunities to meet your farmer, get to know people. We're really trying to connect people and give people options, connect people to their
Build a community,
producers.
as that one thing
Build
said.
the community.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and get people more engaged in where their food's coming from. If you go to a grocery store, you have no idea where that animal was, where that apple was, grown, or tomato. With this, you get to put a face to the farm and
A face to the product.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and I think that's a good idea. I really do, because you're right. You don't know otherwise where anything's coming from, if it's safe or not. And yet we're all running off to the grocery store every week to pick up whatever we need, and we just sort of do it willy-nilly. And I know for myself, just to read the labels is mind-boggling to me. It's overwhelming.
I think one of the things that we know is people want to support their local economy. They get excited about that. I think that's why our farmers market has been so successful. There's just this growing interest in what's grown locally. And we see that many producers have been able to start small nano businesses. But if we create a market where they can sell their products 7 days a week, we now may give them the opportunity to scale and grow as well.
Sure.
And that's good for everyone because we're all boats rise together
Sure,
kind of philosophy.
I like that expression. All boats rise together. Now, where will the co-op be located? We kind of answered that already, but in case anyone's just sort of joining us, or we need to repeat it for them, you said it's on the southwest corner of Jackson and Pearl.
Yes.
And there's the map.
Exactly. So we're very close. It's really an accessible location. We're, accessible by bus. We're going to have great parking. We're accessible to pedestrians. You could even boat up because we're
I was
about
going to say you're accessible by boat too.
Yep. About a block and a half from the Riverwalk, so that's awesome. And that accessibility was really important to us as we were looking. We want to make sure that all people feel welcome in the store and feel like it's their store because it is community owned. So that's really important to us. So yeah, it's the southwest corner of Jackson Street and Pearl Avenue. Some people may recognize there's an Aurora clinic located immediately to the south. AccuCom is located immediately to the west.
Okay.
So that's the area that we'll be in.
And it will be across from City Center.
Yes.
Right? So, if people work at City Center and they want a different option for maybe lunch, they can just pop across the street.
Or you need to pick up something for your dinner on your way home.
Yep.
Gallon of milk,
Exactly.
dozen eggs. Yep.
Are you guys going to be selling liquor there? I'm not asking that personally for me. When I think of grocery stores, I think of liquor. But I also know it's tough sometimes. I don't know about other cities, but sometimes it's tough in Oshkosh to get a liquor license.
Yeah.
So will you guys be selling liquor?
It's something that we'll pursue, absolutely,
Okay.
because we know that there's local producers here who are interested in selling. We have several members. Fifth Ward is their owners are members of the co-op, Bare Bones. So we want to be sure that if we can sell local producers' products, we will. But we will have to go through the licensing process and make sure that we can sell.
Yeah. You mentioned Bare Bones Brewery out on Highway 45. They're also, talking about animals, they're pet friendly. You can take your dogs there in the summer. Well, you can take them in the winter, too, if you want to sit outside in the cold. But you can take your dogs there in the summer and sit and have a few brewskis or whatever you want to drink, and your dog can be with you. So it's a cool thing. Okay. And I think you kind of already addressed why that particular location, but there are a couple of photos here that go with the question of why that location. You've got one here that's called USDA Food Desert.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at that. And what does this mean? What is this?
So one of the things people may not know about this area is that the USDA, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, has classified this as a food desert, which means it's a low-income, low-access area. And we know from the research that the absence of a grocery store has ripple effects for people's health. So not having a grocery store within that area can create health impacts long term, things like chronic disease and other health issues. So that's part of why we're anxious to locate in this area. We think it's an underserved area, and it's a low income area. So people who don't have adequate transportation may not have access to regular shopping options.
Yeah. Well, and talking of options, I like the idea that this is an alternative to some of the larger stores. I don't have, no pun intended, but I don't have a beef with any of our local stores, but it's nice to have other choices available to you. And this one is particularly nice because it's in an area where there is nothing else, and I guess that's why it's called a desert, because there's nothing there. So co-ops can take the shape of retail stores or buying clubs. I did a little research, and that's what I came up with. How will the Oshkosh Food Co-op be structured?
So we'll be an actual grocery store, so retail. And that's one of the questions we often get, though. Is this a buying club? Is it a CSA? How will this work? We'll have a grocery store that when you walk in, you'll be able to shop for produce. You'll be able to shop for frozen goods. You'll be able to shop for packaged items, canned goods, things like that. So.
Okay, wonderful. All food co-ops are committed to consumer education, product quality, and member control, and of course, as we've been talking about, they support their local communities too by selling produce and other products that are grown or made locally by family farms and so forth. I'm assuming that is going to be completely true with the Oshkosh Food Co-op.
Yeah, we're really excited actually about the idea of being able to bring people together. So you may have noticed on the picture that we had, there's like a patio space on the outside, and there's a second floor mezzanine space. We're planning a small deli with eat-in areas. Some co-ops have taken to doing community dinners, like a $4 dinner or a $5 dinner. And that's something that we hope to do as well. We know that there are folks who are just like the idea of coming together for food. And we've seen this be successful in other communities. That's just one of the things that we'd like to do. Other co-ops have done some really creative kinds of programming to help their community. So Willie Street Co-op in Madison, for example, does a roundup at the register program, and then they'll donate. So if your order is $7.83, they'll say, do you want to round up to $8? Sure. Yep. Those 17 cents go into a pool, and then those funds are distributed to different nonprofit organizations for example, a food pantry. Others will use the roundup at the register to fund microloans to farms that may want to make improvements on their farms, as an alternate financing vehicle. Just a lot of really neat stuff that can happen when we come together as a community. Yeah.
Well, microloans are great for any kind of business, really, because, the interest rate is super low, and, you're helping out someone else. And so that's a good thing. So what are the next steps for the co-op?
Sure, great question. So we're in the midst of
It was yours, Brenda. I can't take credit for it.
Now I'm going to blush. We're in the midst of a $1.6 million capital campaign. So the project as a whole is about $2.5 million. And that is for everything to get us up and running. So it's, building out the store, buying equipment, hiring the general manager and staff, stocking the shelves, all of those kind of things. So we're in the midst of a $1.6 million capital campaign.
There we see the pie chart.
And so we have a campaign going on with our members right now where we're asking if they'd be interested in making microloans to the co-op. That's something that's unique to co-ops as a financing vehicle. And then we also have a charitable fund set up at the Community Foundation where members and non-members alike can make contributions to support the project.
So that is something you're asking of your members above and beyond their membership.
Correct.
Okay.
Giving them the opportunity to invest.
But they don't have to.
No, there's no requirement. Nationally, we know that about 25 to 30% of owners will participate in a capital campaign. I mean, it's so rare that we get an opportunity to make an investment in something that's truly local like this. So this is a really unusual and unique opportunity. And one of the benefits of membership is the ability to be able to seize that opportunity.
Okay, excellent. So the $1.6 million capital campaign, do you have a date by which you'd like to have this campaign wrapped up?
We do.
What is it?
We're targeting a March 31st deadline, and that's because we would really love, the developers want to, and we would love to break ground in May of this year. It's about a 12-month build once we break ground, so
really?
It'd be wonderful to be able to open in the first half of 2021. So we're working hard. We have a team of volunteers that is working on reaching out to every single one of our member owners to ask how they'd like to participate in the campaign.
Now, here's another slide showing your growth so far.
Our carrot.
Yes, we
lovingly. Clever.
We love our
Did
carrot.
someone in your group come up with that idea?
Yes.
Okay. Well, whoever it is, that's a very clever, very clever way of doing it.
We lovingly call this the carrotometer.
Yep.
Carrotometer.
So to date, we have about 176. This was as of 12/30. We had 176 lenders and donors to the campaign, and we've raised $572,000, just a little bit more than $572,000. So we're well on our way. We're more than a third of the way there, and we'll be, continuing our reach outs and work with our owners to ask them to participate.
And so if someone says, okay, I want to join this, and we're going to get to the membership dues or fees, whatever you want to call it, shortly, but do their dues go toward the capital campaign? It does.
Yes.
So it's not something where they have to give to the capital campaign in addition to the membership.
I see your question.
They can if they want to,
Yes,
but
the capital campaign is something that they can choose whether or not they want to
Okay.
participate in. Absolutely.
Okay.
The $180, you're actually buying an ownership share
Okay.
in the co-op. So you become an owner,
An owner.
when you pay that $180.
and that does not count toward the capital campaign, or does it?
No,
Okay.
it will go toward the building project. It doesn't count toward the capital campaign.
Okay, all right. So let's talk about how people can get involved in this.
Sure.
What are the steps that they should be doing?
Well, if someone wants to join, we'd encourage them to visit our website. You can join online at www.oshkoshfoodcoop.com/join. If someone is interested in following our progress, we'd encourage them to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, to sign up for our email updates on our website. And certainly, if you're already a member and you're interested in getting more involved, or this is the first you're hearing of our capital campaign, we haven't yet reached out to you, let us know if you're interested in participating. We'd love to have you on board.
Okay. So go to the website. If you are listening to this program on the radio, again, the website for joining would be Oshkosh Food Co-op.com/ that's a /join, and I'm assuming that you guys take credit cards, do PayPal, all that stuff.
Correct.
Yes.
And it's a $180 lifetime membership, and if you want to break that up, it's $11 a month.
Okay, so $11 a month, or in any kind of other increment that they want to do it above $11 a month, and that's just a one-time thing.
One time. And then you're a member for life.
Okay.
And it purchases you, with that membership, you become, because you're an owner of the store, you become a voting member of the organization. So you elect the board of directors
Okay.
and help guide the direction in that
Okay.
way of where the organization goes.
So let's say there's a family or a couple. Let's say you and your husband.
Sure.
Okay. So do you, as a couple, you don't each get a vote, right? Because you just have one share. So
It's a great question. Yes.
so
that's
you and
true.
Alex are going to have to get lined up
We
on the
have to
same side of the
agree.
fence, right?
Or one of us has to buy a second membership. That is allowable. So we do have some folks who decided, you know what, we each want our own vote, so we've purchased our own memberships.
Okay.
So that's an option
Okay.
as well. But
So one vote per $180 fee, or membership donation, whatever you want to call it. Now, there's another question here: who's behind this effort? And we've kind of talked about that already. But I think there's a video also that kind of goes with this, and this is a video that can be found on Facebook also. But we feel generous, so we're going to show it to you right now. So if we can go to that video, and we will just sit here and listen to it. Does it have sound? Oh.
I joined the
there we
Oshkosh
go.
Food Co-op because I love local, fresh food of all types. It tastes better, it's more nutritious. It actually tastes how it's supposed to. Think about local strawberries or tomatoes.
Co-ops are important for a community. They have their own culture, and it's just a great place to buy food.
Oshkosh is kind of, a food desert, if you will, and this would be an opportunity for us to have good locally sourced foods, organic foods, and things that wouldn't be available normally in other supermarkets.
We're just really excited for the potential of what this property, this site could be. It'd be awesome to have a patio or an outdoor space with, that we could enjoy just like a grab and go selection right out of the store. It could be just really awesome.
As a teacher, I'm very excited because of the educational components of food co-ops.
And knowing that the dollars you spend there aren't traveling overseas, they're not that dollar's not even really leaving the community. It's all staying here and supporting the countryside you see when you're driving out on the road.
What it offers, what it's going to do to revitalize the downtown, just giving me another incredible healthy option for shopping in our community.
To have an opportunity for consumers to know where their food comes from and potentially even meet the grower or the producer is pretty exciting to me.
And we're just so excited to see this as an option for local food, for organic food, for a greater connection to your farmer and to your community, and we're just excited to get our community involved and our kids.
Any food co-op, and particularly Oshkosh, has needed this for a long, long time.
I think that the food co-op is going to be more than a grocery store. I think it'll be a space for community, and I think it'll be a space for people to grow and learn and just have a lot of opportunities. So we're very excited to be a part of this movement and be part of this project, and we know that it's going to be an amazing space.
Very nice. Where is the nearest food co-op to Oshkosh?
Stevens Point has a small co-op.
So about an
Madison, Milwaukee.
hour and a half. Mm-hmm. So nothing in the northeast Wisconsin area.
Nope. That's one of the exciting things.
We'd be the first.
Yeah.
That is exciting.
We think that has actually, we know that when we announced the location and media from, Green Bay, Appleton, Oshkosh covered it, it kind of blew up, and people were commenting on the post like, hey, do you think we'll get one of these in Green Bay? Cool, I wish they would do this in Appleton. So I think we have a really unique opportunity here in Oshkosh to make this happen.
I think so too, Brenda, because, here's the thing. You guys know as well as I do that Appleton always seems to get the good stuff. They're getting some of the, and I'm not slamming any restaurants here or anything, so I don't want to get nasty letters or emails, but they get a lot more stuff in Appleton than we do here, and I don't know why that is. So this is a very exciting thing for Oshkosh. It's something that nobody else around here has.
It is, and I think it also creates the opportunity for people. It makes it a destination, and then when people are here, they may also discover some of the other gems that we have in our downtown, Carmel Crisp and Wagner Market, and we have so many great things in our central city that we would love for people to discover, and I think this creates yet one more opportunity for that to happen.
And Carmel Crisp also is pet friendly, so they put out a bowl a water bowl for dogs to drink out of, and you're welcome to sit on their patio with your dog or dogs, and that's nice too. I'm glad to see that more businesses in this community are becoming pet friendly. So is there going to be any pet friendly option on the outdoor area there?
Well, that is just something we haven't yet talked about, but we'll make a note.
Okay.
One of the next big things that we'll be doing is once we successfully complete our capital campaign is launching a search for our general manager. We know we need to do a national search, and we'll be getting someone who's very experienced in grocery to come in and help advise us. I think you can see on the drawing there's a little dog drawn. I imagine people in the apartment buildings will have pets, and I imagine that little patio space will have some access as well.
That would be good, because it just seems like in the last 5 or 6 years people are just, those of us who have pets, who are passionate about our pets, who love pets, they want to be able to take their pets places. It was, you talk about grocery stores, this was about a year or so ago I saw that the Festival Foods up in Green Bay was doing this thing. I don't know if it was just like a trial or if it's something that they do all the time, but if you've got your dog with you and you need to stop and pick up some things from the store, rather than letting the poor dog sit in a car that's either cold or they're going to die of, heat exhaustion in the car, you can bring the dog into the store, put it in a kennel or crate, and go do your shopping, and then when you're done, get your dog out of the crate and go home. And I thought, again, how come Festival in Green Bay gets this and we don't, But people are taking their pets more places.
They are.
So that's a good thing, I think. So anyway, so again, you're wanting to open ideally in early 2021. Okay, all right. And the membership growth, Sky's the limit, right?
That's right. There's how many people in Oshkosh?
Right.
Everybody
About
needs to be a member.
63,000.
Yeah.
I don't know how many households, maybe 20 or 30,000 households, but there's the membership graph again. And it's, I mean, look at that. It's just beautiful. And it's never going to go down because you're a lifetime member once you join.
Correct.
So that graph will always continue to go up.
Yeah, there are communities that have, 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 owners of their store. And that's really exciting. I think we see that level of potential here as well. Because while this will be based in Oshkosh, our membership isn't limited to Oshkosh. So we have members from Neenah, Menasha, Fond du Lac, Ripon. We love Winneconne.
Sure.
Yeah. So
Well,
that's
that's
a wonderful
great.
opportunity.
So what is it that makes you ladies think that this is going to work here? I mean, I hope and pray that it does, but, sometimes the neatest ideas just fall by the wayside and they fail miserably. And I hope that's not the case with the Oshkosh Food Co-op. What is it that gives you guys such deeply instilled hope that this is going to work?
I think there are a couple factors for me. One, we know from the national research that next generation shoppers, millennials, Gen Z, are extremely interested in organic, natural, local, non-chain experiences. So we think that that works to our advantage. We're a next-gen shopping experience. I think the other thing that gives us hope and makes us believe that this project really does have promise is all of the legwork that we've done up till this point. I mean, we've worked with a national feasibility study group. We've worked with national consultants on our business plan and our pro forma. So we've done a lot of homework to get to this point. And I think the growth that we've seen in the membership shows that there's a lot of interest within the community as well.
And there are a few things here that we wanted to show also. Brenda, there's a slide of you talking to the crowd. There you are.
Well, this was our launch event, and I think we asked around for other co-ops to tell us like how many people typically attend your launch event when you announce your location, and they said, you might get around 75, 100. Well, so we ordered a tent, Tracy, for
about 100, a little less.
And it was jam-packed. I mean,
standing room pretty much only, except for these few seats.
And we were blown away by that. I mean, it was packed, and I think that was just the beginning of the excitement beginning to unfold. We then, as I mentioned earlier, saw the story sort of catch fire, and I think almost every media outlet in Northeast Wisconsin has written about this project. So
that's great.
It's kind of captured the imagination of the region, and I think that's a testament to the interest level.
Yeah.
And one thing that this isn't showing, it was snowing and it was cold.
I see a lot of winter jackets and hats on people's heads.
We had to get a heater trying to heat everybody. But yes, outside it was snowing like crazy. And for everybody to come together to see the location was, I don't know, for me, being a part of it, that was humbling. It was very humbling to see that. I was spearheading getting the tent to the location, and people, there was all the buzz of where's it going to be? Where's it going to be? It's going to be announced Saturday. So Friday, when I was with the rental company laying out where the tent was going to go, people are like, stopped. Is this it? Is this where the co-op's going to be? And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about.
But it was at the future site of the Oshkosh Food Co-op. That's really cool. Now, was it snowing before these people all showed up?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That, I think, it's one thing to go someplace and then it starts snowing or it starts raining. It's quite another, I believe, when it's snowing to beat the band and this kind of crowd shows up. That generates excitement for other people, and that shows the level of excitement that these folks have as well. Again, showing that it's probably going to work.
There are no guarantees, but we think the level of excitement that's been generated it has been phenomenal. I can tell you that our owner number climbed by another one today because someone walked in and said, "Here, I want to join." So it's wonderful to see that kind of momentum, or as we say, comentum.
Momentum, that's good. I like it. So how common are food co-ops in Wisconsin? We talked a little bit that there's one in Milwaukee, there's one in Madison, there's one in Stevens Point, an hour from here. Do we have a lot in Wisconsin?
Yeah, there are co-ops actually in many cities the size of Oshkosh. La Crosse comes to mind, Eau Claire comes to mind. I mentioned Menominee.
Stevens Point, Viroqua.
Ashland.
3 in, there's actually 4 in Madison.
Wow.
There's 4 in Milwaukee. Now, 3 of the 4 in Madison are Willie Street Co-op, so they have 3 locations.
What's a Willie Street?
Willie Street Co-op.
I don't know what that means.
Well, that's the name of their cooperative.
Oh, okay.
Co-op. Yep.
Okay.
And
like this is Oshkosh Food Co-op.
Yep. So
okay.
that's Willie Street. And Milwaukee has 4, but Outpost has, so it's all Outpost. They have 4 locations.
Okay. Wow. That's great that those cities can support 4 each. So, well, I guess it's becoming more of a popular thing than even I realized. What will you sell?
Food.
Well, besides food.
Well, really, anything that you
I love it.
Anything that you see at a regular grocery store. I mean, it's going to be a regular grocery. It's going to have a deli. It's going to have a bakery. We're going to have grab-and-go food, produce, canned goods.
Okay. When I think of a grocery store, I also think of all the stuff while you're waiting in line, all the little stuff you can grab, little packs of gum, mints, candy bars, the tabloids that are there. I mean, are you going to have any of those things?
Often what you'll see in co-ops in those lines, you may see products of similar nature, but they're different kinds of products. So you might see a different set of magazines than you would normally see in a grocery store. Right. Magazines on health, on living well, things like that. Different
things that fit in with the theme of a food co-op.
Yeah, and just to clarify, I mean, we're not going to be the food police, right? If you've got something that you like, I mean, that's not our job. Our job is to offer options to people who, and then they can make the choice for themselves.
There's still going to be a lot of the same things that you see on the shelves of other grocery stores at this co-op as well.
Okay. All right. Excellent. So tell us again, we're down to probably about 12 minutes, 11 or 12 minutes. Tell us again what the next steps are.
Sure. So our big pieces right now that we have coming up are we are working on our capital campaign, which is, again, raising the funds that we'll need to be able to open the store. Once we've successfully completed that, we'll launch a national search to hire a general manager. We will look for someone who has co-op and grocery experience because we know that we need that insight and that talent to be able to help us make the store successful. Right now, we're also working on store design. So that's been an exciting portion of this project. We have a site team that is working on identifying, what are the elements that we need within our store, putting together an RFP that'll go out to store designers and architects to help with the process. And then the producer team is busy working.
Yep, we're reaching out to local producers, and when I say producers, that kind of covers the gamut of produce, meats, eggs, milk, dairy, anything food related that's made here in Wisconsin. So if you are a producer and you haven't talked to one of us yet, we do have an application on our website to become a vendor. Right now, we are just compiling applications and talking to producers. And then when the general manager is hired and their staff, they will make the determination as to what products are going to be on our shelves and in our cases.
Okay.
We want to have as big a database built as we can.
We want to be able to just, here you go. We did all the legwork for you, and now feel free to set up meetings and figure out what you want to have.
Sure. So what kinds of things will you look at for a potential vendor? And maybe that's more what the GM and his or her staff will be looking at. But I would think that you're going to want a vendor who is able to, get to scale in order to supply the necessary items in the quantities that you guys are going to need.
We're
right? Or
yeah,
no?
yes and no.
See, I couldn't be a manager because I blew it on that one question.
No,
you can't hire me, guys.
No, we're looking at all different size producers.
Okay.
Because like Olden Organics, my farm, we're not going to be able to supply all the produce. So we need multiple farms for just produce. Same thing goes for eggs, for bakery, for anything. We want to partner with locals, number one, and good quality.
Mm-hmm.
So right now we have my team. We're just meeting with people, getting the word out. We're the cheerleaders of local right now, and just gathering applications, contact information, whatnot, all the information that the GM's going to need to be able to pick up the phone and be like, okay, you want to sell to us? What do you have? Let me come out and see your farm. Let me come and see your operation.
Okay.
That sort of thing.
So the GM and or it's their staff is going to look at the farms. They're going to look at the farm as a whole and make sure that things truly are organic.
Not necessarily.
Okay. See, I failed another one.
Organic or not.
Okay. But homegrown,
yes.
basically. Okay. Because I know that a lot of people, they're into the organic thing, and yet I remember writing an article one time on organics, and I talked to someone at the University Extension office, and they gave me quite a lesson in organics. Just because someone grows it themselves, it does not make it organic.
That is correct.
And
we could have a whole nother show on just that.
Yeah, I mean, and the more he talked to me about this, the more I thought, wow, I don't know much about organic. And now I do, but when I started out the conversation, I didn't know much about organic at all. I thought that just if someone grows it themselves, then it's organic, and absolutely not. That's not the case.
No.
So but you're saying that it does not have to be organic in order to be sold in the food co-op.
Correct. There will be organic offerings, there will be conventional offerings, there will be local offerings, things that are grown.
National offerings,
yeah.
yep.
Okay.
Just like a regular grocery store.
Okay.
We're just going to have more local.
That's more of an emphasis here.
Okay.
But sometimes the idea that sometimes when people hear local, they think, oh, so I won't ever be able to get my bananas there. And the reality is we will source things from outside the region as well.
Well, sure, because who around here grows bananas?
Exactly. Exactly. So that's probably the easiest example to explain why we'll need to source some of our goods from outside the region as well.
Yep. So if someone is concerned about they want organic things, B, they want to make sure that their meat is coming from animals that have been raised humanely and slaughtered humanely. These are things that they're going to be able to get at this store, but then they can get other things as well.
We'll be really proud to tell the farm stories of the producers who we're sourcing from, so that you'll know where it's coming from. As Tracy mentioned, you can read bios on who the producers are, perhaps even meet some of the growers and producers. I've seen many events at co-ops where it's like Meet Your Farmer Day, and they'll bring in certain growers and producers, and you have a chance to actually talk to them about what their practices are.
You could do that for a grand opening.
Wouldn't that be cool?
You could combine Meet the Farmer Day with the grand opening, and it could be a huge thing. Okay, so I just want to mention again, especially for those who are listening to this on the radio, the Oshkosh Food Co-op has a presence on Facebook. They have their own website. They are also on Instagram, Twitter, And I think those are the things, and I haven't missed any. The website address is OshkoshFoodCoop.com, and if you want to join, and we all at this table hope that you do, then you'd still just go to OshkoshFoodCoop.com, but if you want to just put a / after .com and then type the word join, that's the quickest way to get there. But I'm sure that there's a join section right on the home page when you get there probably. And take a look at the various things regarding their capital campaign or microloans, whatever you're interested in with regard to this new concept, an exciting concept, you can find it there. And I would encourage folks to also contact Tracy from Olden Organics in Ripon.
That's correct.
And you are organic.
I am.
Okay.
Yes.
You are true organic.
Yes.
All
Our
right.
farm is certified. Yes.
So we've got just a couple minutes left. So why don't we just talk about the difference between organics and non-organics? Give people a short lesson.
So, in a nutshell, to be able to say that you're organic, or the USDA certified organic logo, you have to be certified through a third-party entity.
Okay.
We are certified through MOSA out of Viroqua here in Wisconsin. We receive an in-person inspection once a year, and that can be 6 to 8 hours in person.
Wow.
We have to open up everything to them, so nothing is secret. We have to show them everything from our receipts for our seeds to our seed packets, and then we have to go through our planting log of how much was planted, how much was harvested, where was it sold, what did we put on it as far as fertilizers. Did we put any pesticides on it or fungicides?
Because that knocks you out of the organic stage, right? Or no?
No. As long as they are OMRI certified products,
okay.
Which means that they're approved under the organic umbrella, then they're allowed.
Okay.
That is a misnomer that if you're organic, you don't spray anything. That's not true. And
Okay.
in this, especially in the Midwest now that it's so wet, if we're not spraying fungicides, we're not growing and producing anything.
Okay.
But our fungicides are not synthetically made.
Okay.
They're all natural products.
So I guess the big key here then, Tracy, is if a farm is truly organic, you should be asking that farmer if they are USDA certified organic.
That's correct. And like at any farmer's, like if you're purchasing from a farm that says that they're organic at a farmer's market, they have to be able to, if you ask for their certification, they have to be able to show you their certification.
Right on the spot?
Most of us carry it. We
Okay.
should be. And if not, we can direct you to, like, for me, to MOSA, to their website, and you can get my certification right there.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Well, we're down to about a minute and a half, and this hour has gone by so quickly, and my head is just exploding with information, but it's information I'm excited about. And just, do you have any closing thoughts in the remaining 90 seconds that we have?
I think one of the best things, I'll hop in and I'll let you finish it up. One of the best things I think that this effort has is it's the ability for us to do something together as a community by literally buying into, becoming owners of this store, and making this happen. That's a rare opportunity, and I think it's exciting.
Okay.
And I think just to add on to that is, if you're not an owner already, what are you waiting for? Get on this tractor, I guess, for lack of a better word, and help us bring this to Oshkosh.
Okay. All right, ladies. Thank you both so very much for being here. We could probably talk another hour on it because I would love to know how you guys got involved, but we don't have time. But I wish you the very best of luck with this venture, and I'm excited to see the groundbreaking. I want to see this happen. So anyway, thanks very much for being here.
Thank you for having
us.
us.
When you get closer,
We'll
let
be
me
back.
know.
We'll be
We're going to
back.
have you back.
All right,
So.
Awesome.
thanks.
All right. Thanks to my guests. Thanks to our crew. And certainly, most of all, thanks to you. We will see you next time. Until then, keep your eye on us. We've got our eye on Oshkosh.
Thank you.